That is very different. It's like a boat. Alright, here we are. It's now probably 8 o'clock at night. We just had dinner. We thought, oh, we'll try and squeeze a little ride in now as we are running out of time. Oops. So I had to push my dad here to the road just in case we would get a lot more oil spills. But it's looking pretty good. Yeah. There we go. Oh, I love that little backfire sound. Got a bit of a cold last night. We had some really good dinner last night. My parents looked after our baby and we actually got to hang out with just the two of us. So that was quite special. But we were sitting outside and it was quite lovely, but it did get a bit colder. I don't know, I think I might have got a bit of a cold or something. I'm not really sure, but a little bit under the weather. My dad, he doesn't have indicators on his bike. So he uses his hand. The other thing too is that his throttle hand, the throttle actually sticks so where it stays, so you can actually have your own sort of cruise control going on. This is pretty cool. There's a church making a bit of noise. And the bike I'm on is also pretty old. It's a Suzuki GS450E. Don't really know too much about this bike, but it's quite good, quite like it. Started riding, I learned on a 250, and then I came to Holland and actually rode this thing, so there was, you know, an extra 200cc on top, so that was actually quite nice without having too much added weight, so it was a nice way of getting used to a slightly bigger bike. So we're doing a little run to the beach, hopefully at some point, once the bike is warmed up a little bit. I might get to ride it for a bit as well. It should be fun. I've ridden a Harley Davidson once, but it was a Sportster, it was a 883. So this is the real true first time on the Harley and not just any. It's going to be a nice one. It's a classic. So really looking forward to that. What's the oldest bike you guys have ridden? Let me know down below. I'm curious to see if you guys have had any opportunities to ride old bikes. My past and future tense. When I'm lost on the open sea, you're the wind. So this area here has some nice bends in it. They're a little bit hard to find around here if I would compare it to Wollongong. We're pretty fortunate around Wollongong and Sydney. There's quite some good roads and, you know, not too far away. But these are a nice little neighborhood, a bit of green. I think this eventually leads to the ocean, which is obviously a nice ride. And for us, here in Holland, the sun actually goes down into the ocean, which is actually quite nice. The one thing I miss of in Australia is that the time that the sun goes down is just really early. And the other thing is that we've got an escarpment, so we've got all the mountains on the side where the sun goes down. So we actually lose the light a bit earlier than the sun actually goes down. So that's a bit, you know, unfortunate. Because I don't know, it's like the nightlife is just nicer when it's still light kind of thing. I don't know, there's something about it. The thing is, my dad knows where to go. He's lived here for a very long time, so he knows all the nice roads. I've never been here before, but it's pretty good. There was a sign saying it's a dead end, so I wonder if this is actually a dead end or if this is leading to a little secret passage that maybe only motorcycles can get through. Here we go. The car can't get through, but obviously we can. That's the other cool thing. I have to shift through the gears on this thing, but he's only got 4 gears, so he probably isn't shifting that often. Plenty of power down low. Here we are at another self-service pump. Wil je in één keer 2 tanks doen of apart? Still, I just missed this bloody side stand. A little bit different to mine. Good old GS450. Don't know what the E's for. I'm guessing electronic. Maybe electronic start. Maybe one of the first ones. That's the other interesting thing is that this tank, it's got two tanks. So I think the left and the right, they're separate. So he has to fill both of them up. The pumps here seem pretty quick too, compared to home, or some of them anyway. The hand wave. And here we are in the dunes. I don't know if it's all the way along the coast, but around where I grew up there's dunes everywhere, so in between the ocean and land there's a lot of dunes. That's sort of our form of national parks in a way. It means a fair bit of sand. The other thing that lives around these dunes are deer, and the deer are actually a bit of a problem around here, to the point where they create a lot of roadkill, and they actually end up into towns, and obviously that's not always great for the people that live there. So they have actually tried to kill a few, or culling I think you call it in English. It always is a bit of an issue because, you know, you've got a lot of people that don't want to kill animals. On the other side is that, you know, they're doing a lot of damage as well, so you kind of have to find the middle ground there. So I think it took quite a long time before they actually worked out the right solution. Here we are.
Quick sunset.
Quick sunset, yeah, sounds good.
We'll discuss how to go back.
Yes, sounds like a plan. We got here just in time.
Yeah.
Well, that was very nice. Well, I gotta have to go back in the dark now, and my dad just showed me how to actually kickstart the bike. We're gonna go outside of the dunes, and then I might have a little run on the bike and see how I feel, and if I'm comfortable enough I might just ride home. But it's just, I just sat on it and it's just so different. Everything is different about it. Like the foot brake is like, you gotta lift your foot up real high, so when you rest your foot on the floorboards, I don't know if that's what you call them, the rear brake, the pedal is like on top of your foot, so you have to actually go around it and then brake. And the other thing my dad was saying is that the brakes are really bad, so you have to really be mindful of that, so you can't really brake last second kind of thing, so you gotta just make sure you take it easy. And no, obviously no ABS, but also there's no, the brakes back then, they just weren't great, so you gotta take extra care to brake properly. Just don't go too quick in the first place. And the other thing he was saying is that it's got a lot of torque down low, and obviously it you know, it probably only revs up to 4,000 or 5,000 RPM, so you got to be mindful of that as well. The way you take off and stuff like that, a little bit different than a modern bike. So I'm looking forward to it. And he does have indicators, but he doesn't use them during the day, because apparently they, because he can't see when they're on during the day, because he can't see it on his dash. The other interesting thing is the way you change the indicators. Change the indicator, it's all done with one button, which I might show you later. Alright, here we go.
Eerst links helemaal die ontsteking.
Ja.
Dan is er één en dan voorzichtig rijden.
Oké.
Geef maar genoeg gas, niet te weinig, maar je voelt wel dat je te veel geeft.
Oké. Nah, here we go. Holy shit. First off, first impression, it's bloody heavy. The way it moves, it's like the seat moves with it, so it's very strange. Now the torque is quite good. I'm at third now. I should probably be in second, or maybe not, I don't know. So just trying to get a feel of it. The seat moves, so it's sort of weird to get a feel for the bike. So my first bend, gonna go nice and slow. Oh, that is very different. It's like a boat. So you can't just lean in. You have to go real. You can't just push it into the corner. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking because I need to concentrate for a little bit. So from this point I rode all the way home. It was quite the experience. Now I worked out that I could use a lot of engine braking to slow down, and that the brakes were really bad compared to a modern bike. So that was quite the experience. Finally my dream came true. I rode the Harley. It was interesting to have this seat because the seat had play in it, so it would actually sway from side to side separate to the actual bike frame. So when you're turning, it just felt really weird because it sort of feels like you're falling off the bike. So that took me a little while to get used to. My dad's obviously used to it, so he didn't even think about mentioning that to me. And the other thing was I didn't actually know how fast I was going. And my dad wasn't sure at some parts if we were speeding a little or not. We found out later that my dad didn't get any fines, so obviously we were good. There were a few parts where I just went a little bit faster just to have a feel of what the torque was, and it was really nice to feel. A great bike. I hope to really do it again one day, but there might be a few years in between before I go back to Holland. So I'll have to wait and see. I don't know if you've seen these roundabouts, but they can be a little bit confusing. Here I think I confused myself a little bit as well. Just watching this video again, it's just getting me excited. Like I can feel what I was feeling then again. It was so nice to ride this bike. Really exciting stuff. Next time you'll see me, I'll be back in Australia in the hot, dry, fiery season. And as always, thank you for watching these videos. Thank you for joining me on my journey, and I'll see you on the next one. See ya.